Hi guys, Fen here. Some of you guys still having trouble with the Spit for takeoff and landing. Thought I'd show you how I managed to get around the circuit without making a mess of things. So let's get cracking. I've got to put my control indicators up. For those of you who don't know what that is, it is this. If we press right control and enter, we get a nice little graphical indication of what it is our controls are doing. So if you follow the stick movement there, you see it, and then rudder there, throttle, and then brakes. I've got my brakes on one of my spare throttle axes, so I can apply little and lots as appropriate. Pretty handy. So we'll leave that up so you guys can see how much of what I'm using is going on. Right, let's start up. So I'm going to move my trimmers first because that's how I like to do things. One notch nose down. I generally put the rudder with the D's to 12 o'clock. A lot of people put a bit more, a bit less. Your mileage may vary. Okay. Pitot switch, by the way. Pitot heat on. Always take off with that on, because otherwise your pitot head will freeze up and you will lose your airspeed indicator, which isn't fun. And this switch underneath the trim wheel here, that's a fuel pump, avoids having to use the wobble. So fuel on and prime 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Mags on, switch is uncovered, brakes full on, throttle cracked a little bit, that'll do, and booster and start, and as she catches, mixture into run and back off the throttle. A little bit too much there. Okay, right. Okay, brakes off, stick full back for taxiing. That'll make the aircraft more stable. You're forcing the tail wheel into the ground, apply more weight to it, which will make it want to track less. Oh, we're on the move already. It doesn't take a lot to get this aircraft rolling, as we've just seen. Let's go a bit more. There we go. Don't let it pick up too much speed, just feather the brakes in. See the brake input there. Okay, full right rudder and a touch of brake. Come around your boat, there we are. Okay, a bit more, and a crack of throttle as well, just to help. Torque means she wants to turn left easier than she wants to turn right. Okay, brakes off. Okay, full left rudder, squeeze a brake, and she's going around full right rudder now, and just dabbling the brakes in, dabbing it in, dabbing it in, dabbing it in, dabbing it in. There we go, lovely. Okay, a bit more tracking. Okay, she's picking up a bit of speed. I've got a little too much throttle here, so just come back off that a bit. Control the speed, dab the brakes. Need to see where I'm going. Okay, full right, dab the brakes. Okay, full left now, and off. Full left. See, she's tracking a little bit straighter, but watch how the nose wants to accelerate as it diverges. The speed at which it departs gets quicker, the more time is left before the correction takes. So, okay, coming out on the runway now, and runway is clear. Got some contacts out there, I think those are measure Smiths, we'll leave those alone. Okay, put the throttle. Okay, and full left, a dab of brake to get the nose swinging, and then full opposite, and a dab of brake, a dab of brake, a dab of brake, a bit more brake, heavy braking, here we are. Okay, she's centered, let's bring her to a halt. Nice, okay, come back off the throttle. Okay, let's do a quick last minute check. So, trim 1 degree nose down elevator, yep, rudder's where it was. Everything's full, oh, close those. Tighten that back up, and altimeter. Let's zero this bugger. There we are. It's useful to know what height you are above the airfield, especially when you're doing a circuit. So, okay, we're ready to roll. What I'm going to do is going to bring the throttle smoothly but smartly up to 8 pound boost. I'm going to have the stick hard back and very slightly right for the initial part of the run. As the speed picks up, I'm going to move the stick into neutral, and then I might just need a little bit of nose down to pick the tail up. That's very important. All the while I'm going to be looking out the front of the airplane. I'm not going to be glued to the ASI. I very rarely look at it nowadays. I more sense the speed and the controls and how they react, and the nose dropping if you're trying to pick up the tail will tell you enough that you've got flying speed. So my main focus is going to be on the nose, and I'm going to, even if I sense a movement left or right, I'm going to do a very short, quick, sharp jab like that. That's all it needs. Not full. We're looking about quarter to a third, maybe a half, but shouldn't need much more than that of input, and it's got to be short and sharp. Literally just a pulse, and if it's since it go left, then a pulse to the right. If it's still going that way, another little pulse and another. Then it might be coming right a little bit too much now because you've overdone it slightly. So then quick pulse to the left. That's how it works. It's got to think like a boxer. Jab, jab, jab. Alright. So 3, 2, 1, powering up. Okay. A couple of stabs there. Okay, I've got a bit more throttle on. I want it on stick neutral. Okay. Stick forward. Stick forward. There we are. And off she comes. Okay. Gear up. And RPM back to 2700. Close the canopy. And we're up and away. Lovely. Okay. Should have held that rudder input a little bit longer. Okay, going around the circuit. My biggest tip in the Spit is to always set yourself up on a nice approach first. A good landing starts with a good approach. It's very difficult to rescue a bad approach and make it into a good landing. So coming back on the throttle now, let's slow her down a bit. Okay, so 1350 feet, I'm a little high. Let's cut the throttle completely now. Slam a little bit of left rudder in, a bit of up elevator trim. Speed's going down below 180, below 160. I'm going to stop thinking of that turning in soon. So there's gear down speed. Okay, a slight trim change there, so a bit more backstick, and flap down speed. Go from a canopy. Okay, I want to hold about 110 on the approach. Holding about 100. I'll do, it's a little lower than I like or feel comfortable with. Sink rate is much more in this game than you will find in any of the others. So your nose will be higher, but your rate of descent will also be higher. It's if you're coming here from Clod or IL2, it's something you're going to have to get used to. Okay, still a little high here. Come in now, nice and gentle, very little rudder movement, don't massive corrections, use the ailerons, get yourself set up nicely on line, cut, okay, watch the flare, don't flare too high at an altitude, let it sink, sink, there we go, stick back, okay, and lots of small sharp movements on the rudder again. They're going to, as the aircraft slows, they're going to be longer and a bit kind of more heavy, but I'm using no brakes here. No brakes are input at all. As she slows you might need it, but I'm lucky. No brakes needed at all at the moment. So just lots of little jabs again. She's tracking quite nicely. Okay, I'm going to use brakes now to pull me to a stop. And voila! Okay, and just to prove that wasn't a fluke, and the fact I'm not brilliantly happy with that first takeoff, I have done better, so let's try it again. So trims set to takeoff, so 1 degree, nose down, double D's to the top, prop pitch fully forward, stick full back. Okay, so here we go, powering up to 8 pound boost again. Okay, catch that swing, stick neutral. Okay, now stick slightly forward, there we are, just catch it, and then stick back gently, and up she comes. Lovely, gear up. Forgot to put my flaps away. I wonder why she ballooned a little bit there. Okay, well, that's a flaps takeoff. So around we come, reducing the RPM. Okay. Well, that was a bit wonky, shouldn't have taken off with flaps down then, but hey ho. If Jeffrey Quill did it, then I'm sure I'll be allowed to get away with it. Okay, back on the throttle, trim. Okay, and coming abreast of the landing field now, canopy open. Speed coming down 160, gear down, trim nose up, trim nose up, trim nose up, trim nose up, down 140, flaps down. Okay, gonna put a little throttle on here as we come down to about 100. Okay, a bit more throttle, get the nose a bit higher, Tom. Straighten out, and turn in now. Holding 110. Okay. Going off the throttle a little bit now. So as we cross the threshold, I'm slowing. Okay, a little off the centre line, but not too bad. So these arms cut, hold her off, and down, there we are. Okay, not quite so neat that time. Stick full back, rudder inputs, short and sharp again. Again, haven't used any brake yet. She's flying quite nicely. Just work in the rudder. Okay. And let's bring the brake in. Okay. And then once more, now with flaps up. Okay. Again, one elevator, nose down. Let's double check that a little bit more. Yep. And then rudder double D's to 12 o'clock. Okay. Everything else is wave. Prop pitch full forward. And stick full back. Powering up. +8 boost, there we go, that's good, that's good. Okay, stick neutral now. Dance those rudders, dance the rudders, stick forward. Picking the tail up, lovely, okay. And it, that's more like it. Gear up, that's better. Okay, gears up, coming back to 2600 RPM, 2650, not too fussy about it. And then let's brake into the downwind. Canopy closed. There's 1,000 feet. And come back on the throttle now, +3 boost. Okay, a bit more because we're still picking up speed. Get some trim in because. Okay. Speed's coming down. Okay, gear down. Flaps down and trim. Okay, bit of throttle on. Keep her above 100. Nose up. Coming in a little bit quickly this time, so drop the throttle a bit. Okay, a bit more on. Again, just see how this curved approach, you can constantly adjust, you can constantly tweak it to bring the nose onto centre line. Try doing that with a straight in approach. You can't see the bloody runway. Fly down nice and gentle. Okay. Cut. And flare. Stick full back. Bit of rudder. Dance on it. Dance on it. Okay. Most of you guys will be having an issue by putting your aircraft into the flare attitude at too high an altitude, so you'll be okay, not quite so clean that one on the, I'm going to have to bring some brakes in there, but yeah, when you're coming into land and you're about to adopt the flare, you'll be doing it too high. So what's going to happen is that the aircraft will sink quite rapidly. And as you drop from that position in that attitude, you've got too much energy, not enough to bounce and put you back up, but enough to give you wings momentum, and they'll just roll and snap her into the ground. So I found the only way to stop that happening was to make sure I was flaring at a much lower altitude. Taxiing with flaps up, that's naughty, so flaps away, there we go. There you go, boys. Nothing really can help you more than getting in and practicing and knowing what you're doing wrong. So a lot of you might be making mistakes and not even realise you're doing it. Overcorrecting will be your biggest issue at first. It was mine. And I was having the same issues on the landings with the wing slapping, and it basically was caused by coming in from other sims. The first person lens in this game is different from all of the other flight sims. IL2, CLOD, if you come in expecting the same picture, that'll be half the issue. So this is why I say when you come in for flare at landing, as you come in and think you should start flaring, just hold off a bit and give it let it sink a little bit lower before pulling it into the 3-point attitude. And if you're not pulling it into the 3-point attitude and you're trying to land it like you've gotten away with before in Clod or IL2, well, good luck to you, because that's just not going to happen. So there you go, gents, we're back down on the ground safe and sound after 3 takeoffs and 3 landings. Some better than others, I'll be honest, but that's the nature of things. Okay, so fuel off, mags off, and then done. Okay, I hope this has been of assistance to some of you. If you've got any hints or tips or anything I'm doing wrong, by all means please let me know in the comments. Otherwise, good luck and happy taxi, takeoff and landing in the DCS Spitfire. See you later.